what a game. Uh, 4 games in, we have 2 overtime games. We beat a good basketball team tonight. Physical, tough, defensively, long. Our guys had to, really dig deep to find a way to win. And I was just proud of our guys' effort. I thought they played hard. It took us a while to adjust to their length and their size and athleticism. As the game wore on, I think we got a little more comfortable, and we got back to playing UCF basketball. And what a good win for our program.
Coach, congratulations on the win. What did you see early? You just said you took a little bit of time to adjust to their tempo and everything. What was happening early, and then what did you like? What did you see differently late in the second half, and then late in the first half, and in the second half when you made your run?
Well, I thought they played with a lot of force. They just played with a lot of force on both ends. They pushed the ball hard. Their pace is really fast. Combine that with, defensively, they're very stingy. It's hard to get anything easy. I think they blocked like 6 shots in the first half. So our guys hadn't seen that this year, where guys are flying around blocking that many shots and altering shots. So it was an adjustment. It took us about 16 minutes for our guys to kind of, get comfortable in how we had to play to be successful. I thought we ended the half well, even though we were still down by about 9. I felt we ended it well. We ended it with some momentum. Then we were able to kind of collect ourselves at halftime, talk about the things we need to do better. And I thought our guys came out and executed well in the second half.
Yeah, Coach, talk a little bit more about that first half. Monday, you didn't create many didn't cause many turnovers, and then that first half, a lot of turnovers. You dug yourselves a hole there.
Definitely, we got off to a slow start, and they jumped us right away. Like I said, played with a lot of force, and our guys had to get comfortable. And to our guys' credit, they started playing with more composure as the game went on. Early on, I didn't think we were as composed, and we weren't concentrating on the things we needed to do that we said in the game plan. We got away from it a little bit, but after we collected ourselves, I thought we settled in, as I said, toward the end of the half, and we got some momentum. And I think we rode that momentum into the second half and was able to kind of get back in the ball game.
Coach, surely the fans are going to be curious, facing a Big 12 opponent with this group and the coming move to the conference next year. How big a deal was it for them to come out, even without Darius Johnson, and take them to overtime and win this game?
I think it's huge for our guys. I mean, as you know, we're not looking into the future right now. I understand the fans and everyone is, but we're so locked in on what we want to do in the American Conference. As I said, this is our last year in the American. It's been a great conference. Some great teams, some great coaches, and so we're just trying to make sure that we're preparing ourselves for a battle that we're going to have, starting in January in that conference. Moving forward to the Big 12 when that time happens, I think this will serve us well from the standpoint of having an understanding of how the game is played. And I think our guys will be able to revisit these moments and understand what we're going to have to do to try to give ourselves a chance to be successful in that conference.
Coach, we've talked about your front court depth, and C.J. Walker with a great block on Cisse there at the end of overtime. Do you feel your team's got that identity defensively, like you've had some of your best teams in your, the 19 team that had identity?
Well, I'm never satisfied, but today I thought it was a great defensive effort, man. To hold that team to 29% for the field for the game and 10% from three. I mean, that's a great effort against any team, and let alone a team like this. So I was really proud of how our guys played, and we have to hang our hat there, as you mentioned before. This group hadn't been together very long, and so the one thing we know we can do is we can defend. And we can build our game off of that, and that's what we're trying to do. Like I said, our defense is definitely ahead of our offense, and that's not a bad thing. I think we'll continue to get more fluid offensively, more continuity offensively as we know each other better. But right now, there's no excuse for us not to defend at a high level. We got some guys that can guard. They understand our system a little bit better, and so that's what we hang in our hat.
Coach, would you talk to Taylor's maturity? You got into foul trouble there, but he was able to keep his composure.
You know what? He definitely plays older than he is. He definitely was able to keep his composure with a little foul trouble. He's been in those situations, not at this level, of course, but he's been in these situations, on his teams growing up. And so he understands, what he's supposed to do, how to play with fouls. And so he has a maturity about him like that. And we trust him in some of those situations. And so the night was one of those nights. But I thought he gave a great effort. I thought both offensively and defensively, he gave us a lift. And I think he just really stayed focused throughout the game and made some big plays for us.
You just talked about what a great defensive effort. How key was it moving to the zone defense? Was it midway through the first half? I mean, how much you think that bothered Oklahoma State?
I thought it slowed them down a little bit. I thought it slowed them down, which gave us a chance to catch our breath. They play at such a fast pace, so if you get to run up and down with them, then you never get a chance to settle in defensively. And so, we're primarily a man-to-man team, but we felt let's take a look at it. Let's see if we can't get the rhythm of the game a little bit disjointed, a little bit slower, so we can get more of a pace that we want. And I thought we did. I thought when we went to zone, especially late in the second half, I thought it kind of slowed everything down. Our guys were able to slow down a little bit, see a little bit more on the floor, and we were able to kind of get some momentum.
Taylor with another double-double tonight, Coach. But CJ Kelly having another double-digit game in points coming off the bench. How big is it to see that from him 2 games in a row?
It's big for us because we need that firepower. He comes in and gives us a spark. We have several guys that we look for to spark us, and he's one of them. He's come in. He's made big contributions. He's made big shots for us, big free throws, and he's a really good defensive player. And that's the thing that no one ever talks about with him. He guards very well. He's using the right place. He can guard on the ball. He can guard off the ball. So, we utilize him way more than just his ability to score. And so he gives us a lift in a few areas.
Another overtime game for your team. You mentioned it earlier. What have you learned about them now through this overtime?
I learned we're resilient. And the 2, I think we learned from that first overtime, the game we played against UNC Asheville. I think we learned from that game. When our guys came to the sideline, we were different. We weren't the same team that came to the sideline each overtime versus Asheville. Our guys came in. You could see it in their eyes that, we're not going to let it get away. We're going to be the aggressor in overtime. We're going to be the ones, we're going to defend. You can see it. You can hear the talk, and they were, just the positive, the feeling. Nobody's shoulders were down. Everybody was so upbeat going in overtime. That even gives me as a coach confidence. I'm already confident enough as it is. But when you see your players acting like that, it just, permeates around through the whole team. And that's what I felt when we went into overtime tonight.
Coach, you didn't get to the free throw line in the first half. So was that a point of emphasis at halftime? Because you got in the bonus early and ended up making 15 of 17 in the second half.
Absolutely. We knew we weren't aggressive enough. We didn't deserve to go to the line. You have to be against a team like that. They're physical and they guard hard. If you're not making strong moves, you're not going to be rewarded with fouls. And so I thought we kind of, as the game went on, we kind of figured out how we had to drive the basketball, how hard we had to drive it. And when we were determined to do that, and we played with more force, I think it allowed us to get to the line a little more.
Cisse, seeing him in person, he's one of the best big men. Some people are saying he's one of the top big men in the sport. Did that also took a while to adjust to him? Because you can only, practice for a guy like that until you see him live.
Absolutely. He's huge. He's long. He's athletic. He's fast. He's quick off his feet. He has a great package for a big man, and I think he showed a lot of it tonight against us. So definitely, it was good for us to face a player like him going forward. It helps, I think, all of our players to have seen a player of his caliber, and they're growing from that experience.
I know obviously you're here to play basketball games, but how are you enjoying the Bahamas and the Baha Mar resort?
Well, we want our guys to, have a good experience. Part of your college experience is being in places like this. We're fortunate that we haven't been, out of the country in quite some time, as a program. So to get our guys, over here in the Bahamas, even though it's a short flight, to get them somewhere else so they can kind of, enjoy the experience while still playing competitive basketball, I don't think you can beat that. And so they'll get a cultural experience here. They'll get a basketball experience. And that's what it's about. I think they're going to grow. And just think most of these young players will have this memory for the rest of their life that they played in a tournament over here. Because I can still remember the tournaments I played in, when I was in college. They're never going to forget that. So you're creating some amazing moments.
Coach, usually lessons learned are associated with loss, but it's always great when you can get them in a win. What's the biggest lesson you hope they got out of this overtime game?
Well, I think the lesson I want them to learn is, one, we're down 17, and to make that run to come back, saying that knowing we're capable of that. You're not going to be up in all your games. You're going to be down in some games, but to know that you can come back, I think that's a big thing. To know that you're never out of a ball game. I think they'll learn that from this game. I think they learned a lot about themselves, from the first half to the second half. I think it was a tale of two halves. First half, we got knocked back, to be quite frank, in the first half. And I thought a lot of times the team get knocked back, they'll never get back up. Our guys got back up, and they fought. in the second half, and we were able to pull out a win. So I think that's something that we've learned, that what it takes to be in that situation to come out of it victorious. So I think those are a couple of things that we learned, and I'll look at the film to see what else we'll learn from it. But it was a good, hard-fought victory.
Hey, Taylor, congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Just kind of take me through the mindset of you guys in the first half. You go down by 17 points, obviously didn't panic, changed up the defense a little bit. What was kind of the message during some of those timeouts when you were facing that big early deficit?
I mean, in the beginning, we weren't really playing our brand of basketball, and, we really let them get a comfortable lead. And then, like, ending that first half, like, we started to, play the way we play. So during the halftime in the locker room, like, none of us were really worried because, with the way we play, we knew we could beat those guys.
Congratulations on the second double-double on the season so far there, Taylor. I know you got definitely put up your share of points, but what's it like from your perspective as a starter, seeing a guy like CJ Kelly come in off the bench and bomb the way he did to help you guys out and support? What does that do for you guys?
I mean, that definitely gives us a lot of energy. We know CJ Kelly's a big-time scorer. He could get a lot of points in a hurry. So, him coming off the bench and doing what he does is definitely, energizing for all of us.
Coach, Taylor, a second overtime game for you guys so far this season. Coach just said that you all had a confidence about you when that overtime began, that you knew what to expect and that you were ready to attack. Talk a little bit more about that, having gone through an overtime already in the early part of the season.
I mean, winning is never easy. But, in this game, when it went to overtime, like I was telling all our guys, I was like, we got them now because, we were playing our brand of basketball. That's why we came back. We just needed to finish the job. We needed a little bit more time to finish it up.
Speak about CJ Walker. Had that great block at Cisse there at the end of overtime. I don't know what your vantage point was, if you were able to see that block, but what does it mean to have him and play alongside him?
I mean, it's great. Like, he's a super athletic player. That block he got on Cisse, he gets that on me all the time in practice. So, just seeing it in the game, it's like I'm not really surprised, but, that it gets me hyped up because I love to see my guys do good.
Taylor, talk to me. I think it was about 5 minutes or so left in the second half. I think you had a dunk, and then maybe there was a turnover, and then you had a three-pointer right after that. I think that put you on top. Did you kind of feel it then? I mean, at what point did you kind of feel like, you were coming back and you were going to win this game? I know you had to go to overtime to do it, but when did you start to feel good about the comeback?
I started feeling good about the comeback coming out in the second half because, like I said, ending the first half, we started playing our way we play. So coming into the second half, I felt like we were going to win it. Even though we were down, I felt like we had it.
What did you guys do differently offensively in the second half?
We had a lot of turnovers early on. I don't know how many turnovers we ended with, but, we started taking care of the ball. Started slowing down and, playing the way we play.
Coach mentioned that a lesson that he hopes you guys take from this game is that you were able to see a big deficit and then come back over it. Do you feel like this is the kind of first half, like, hey, listen, remember that time we were down 17, guys, we could come back? Like, do you feel like this is something else you're going to reference when the chips are down?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. We could definitely use this as a reference, Any other time, if we're ever down again like that, we could just be like, all right, you guys remember in the Bahamas when we were down by a lot? It's the same thing. So, we could definitely use that.
Taylor, how tough was it going head-to-head with Cisse of Oklahoma State? I know he's the reigning Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. He had 14 points, 14 rebounds, 6 blocks. What kind of talent was he on the court?
I mean, he's a great player. Like, he's fast. He's a lob threat, block shots like crazy. Just playing against a guy like that, it's just – and beating a team like that, it feels great.
Speak of the chemistry of this team. It seems like it's a really tight unit. You're in the Bahamas here, spending some time together as well from a bonding standpoint. Just speak to the chemistry and the bond you all have as a team right now.
I mean, we all love each other, bro. Like, all these guys feel like my brothers. I feel like I've known them for a while. Like, the chemistry is great. For sure.
What's the Bahamas like?
It's nice. It's really nice.
So what have you been able to do? Have you gone to the beach or what have you been doing?
I've gone to the beach. I've gone to the beach and there's like a little cave. It's very romantic.
Okay.